caught up in a whirlwind in the clouds and went up. The whirlwind in the cloud is the ship itself. Elijah was taken up in a chariot, and Enoch was translated into heaven by a chariot. It's throughout the scriptures. And 3 men visited Abraham at his tent, and then one went up, and the other 2 went on down into Sodom to try to talk Lot and his family into coming out. You know, these stories that you have interpreted in the scriptures strictly as religious dogma because of the translations by the Christian churches, etc., who had no knowledge of extraterrestrials. They have turned the spiritual community of beings who have existed in other galaxies into gods or into angels, and gave them a bunch of names that didn't apply to them. And so you just happen to mention one who was very powerful. Yanun, his name is. They say Yanin. It's pronounced Yanun, depending on the dialect of what galaxy you're in. The pronunciation changes. And the one you described was another one called Rama, who's asking you about Yanin, because Yanin is a sign to give you all answers about the things that you need to know in this time and the time that you've come from, to be able to distinguish the 144,000 who would be those extraterrestrial beings, prepare them to create that whirlwind and make that ascension out of this state, which they call the rapture, rising up from the earth while it goes through its turmoil with the Lamb, as they refer to him, which is merely a symbol of a humble being from an extraterrestrial. And Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam was caught up between the two because he was one of the only Jabarian of his time, meaning he was the only, well, I say Jabarian of his time, the only being of his time that an angelic being, as you call him, extraterrestrial, came down and went into a woman again like they did way back in Genesis, and gave birth to this being who was partially angelic and partially man, so that he could try to raise your spiritual consciousness, but man was not ready. So Allah Ta'ala saw fit to send after him a mortal who would be guided by a Jabarian, which was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, who would be guided by the angel Jibreel, who was an extraterrestrial, because the method of reaching man through his spiritual awareness, like Jesus, didn't work. Man was wanting to kill him and destroy. They didn't understand what he was doing. And the more he would execute the power of healing and things, to show them that they had the same power, some of them, because that's what he said, I only was sent to a certain group, a lost sheep. I got to find a certain group of people, you know. But the people who he was not sent to, they didn't like him. They persecuted him and in turn wanted to kill him. So Allah Ta'ala saw fit to send another being, which you all call the Comforter, which was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and have the angel visit him, who would be an extraterrestrial, to guide him and give him the Quran, the final text that will teach you about your intergalactic traveling and how you got him. It's why the Quran says, we sent you down to earth. See, they keep missing it. It says, when there's a turmoil in the garden in heaven, then we cast you down to earth in the Quran. From where? The angels come down from where? From floating around in the sky. No, they sent you down to Arbuk, which is Earth, the blue planet. They sent you here from other galaxies. When you violated the law, intergalactical law, you was cast down here like prisoners. You all are wayward, as you would call it. I don't know a better word for it. That you all are assigned to a prison. Earth is a prison that you all are in. And you are people who rebel, who would listen to Satan, as you call him, which was Azazillah then, or Tanush. You listen to him, you follow, and you've been assigned to earth until you overcome that, until you turn and give your total reverence to Huwa, Allah, Allazi, La ilaha illa Huwa. But you incorporate in that, even that when you say Huwa, you have to say God, Allah, God, God, Allah. You keep interjecting. You personified him and said he was Master Farad Muhammad, or he was Yahweh ben Yahweh. You always have to do something rather than to just serve the omnipotent source of the Hawa, or way is inside you, the essence of life. So now you've been assigned to this prison which is called Ardut, the blue rock, earth, until you, which they say are born again. And born again of what do they say? Of the body or the spirit? Of the spirit. Y'all must be born again of the spirit. You must be transformed from being this mortal being who is destined to die back to immortality. You follow? You must become a supreme being again in order to be worthy of intergalactical traveling again. So now what has happened, the devil's seed is in the earth, mixing in with the God seed as you'd have it, and it's keeping y'all bound to the planet and creating new dogmas every day, new deviations from the fundamental truth and calling it religions and sects and all different types of denominations, Sunni, Shia, Ahmadiyya, Bilalian, black Muslims, Hindu, Buddhists, and just creating new dogmas to keep you from seeing the straight, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, as they call it, the Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight way of those who made the pathway through the galaxies. The Sirat when they say in the Quran, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. They're telling you, I want to be guided, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. I want to be guided to that way. I want to get back out of here. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. You know what I mean? That sirat of those who you are giving your grace, Allah Ta'ala. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. I don't want to be like those people who got the everlasting curse, who's damned to this earth forever. Wala Darleen, or those who deviated off that path that was leading from Malakut to Nasut and went somewhere else. Or as they translated in modern times, have left the path of Deen al-Islam and went into other denominations of thought. And you deviate from the path of Deen al-Islam when you deviate from the path of Millah Ibrahim, when you deviate from the religion that Allah Ta'ala gave to the Prophet Adam, which was the way you should work your way back to Jannah to Idris, back out of this plane and back into Malakut, the domain of angelic beings from which most of you have come. But some people here have made an everlasting pact with Azazillah or Tanush, this being who ruled who tried to overthrow Mikael in Malakut prior to the birth of your planet. As a result of that, was cast down. Some mortals have succumbed to him and begin to worship him in a subtle kind of way. One of his names is God. And they have taken it and called Allah God and Jehovah God and Akhirah, etc., etc., etc. You follow? So you just happen to touch on a very sensitive subject. And y'all, I am here to try to bring y'all back to that teaching. But I got to start with what you understand. I got to start giving you what you think you want, so you'll learn how to think on the level of what I have to give, or what you know you need. But I can't start by pouring out. I've been teaching for 20 years on earth, in and out, visiting in and out of here. Different beings speak to you at different times through me, trying to answer all of your questions to prepare you for the real knowledge, the real information that you have to have after you get through wobbling in how great you are and how you got here and how you're Abraham and you're Keter and you're this. When you finish all that ego tripping, then I can get down to teaching you the truth about things and prepare those who are supposed to leave here, to prepare so when the ship does come, they can go. You follow? And I know that sounds crazy, but he wants to make me sound crazy. That's why he made movies like Star Trek, because he knew this knowledge. The devil, Iblis, he knows these things. And that's why he saturates the television with a bunch of things like fiction, so that when the final truth comes, I say, your whole concept of religion in the Bible is wrong. You don't even know what you're talking about. You're talking about intergalactical beings. You're not talking about angels. You're talking about the ultimate source of all existence. You're not talking about God and Jehovah. Those are just expressions. When you say Allah, you're saying El-Hua, Yahoo, oh, he who is. And you cannot define him while still confined to this prison called the physical body on earth. Alright?
You have been listening to the unshakable guidance and teachings of our Sayyid al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, the undisputed man of our times. let us return to the true light with Sayyid al-Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. Remember, you are the light, and you have the power over all things.
It's amazing. This is amazing to me to hear people from this planet asking questions about such intricate things. It is really amazing. You don't even hear yourselves. That's what's so funny. You don't even hear yourself. You hear yourself talk to me, but you don't even understand half the things you're asking. And it's amazing to find that the spiritual people here are beginning to wake up. It is not about a water religion. You know what I mean by a water religion? When they dip you in some water and say you're baptized, or you go to Mecca and then say I'm a Muslim, where it's just a physical aspect of the deed. It's amazing that y'all are now probing into the esoteric part of your existence and trying to get a better understanding of the real you and not the synthetic you that you call your body. It's a wonderful day.
El Hadi, I want to ask a question.
First of all, wait, let me correct some. El Hadi is my father's name.
Imam.
Okay.
What is meant lately? I've been getting the flash in front of me, the white fog, like I'll be standing or I'll be in a certain place and I'll see a white
mist.
A mist, yeah. How do you know that?
Because I know what it is.
A mist in front of me, and it just comes and it stays there for a second. Then it'll go. Then I can move and I'll go to another place, and my mind just be, I don't be thinking about anything in particular. All of a sudden it flash in front of me, but I can't really, figure out.
You haven't. See, the thing is, you're looking at beings who are here in the Earth's atmosphere, trying to reverse the negative flow of current that's here. Okay? You can't assimilate them because you haven't developed the inner part of you. You're developing, but you have not developed the inner part of you to be able to focus on them and take shape the way you do physical things. Meaning, human beings are under the impression that when they look at something, they really see it, and they don't. Everything you look at, if you look at the guy's head in front of you, you are looking at a reflection of light to the brain. You're not looking at the object. You follow that? You're looking out at something, it reflects back into the brain, and then you decipher its color, its shape, its form, its size, etc. Okay? You have not been able to do that yet with the spiritual world. Sometimes the beings will personify for you or incarnate for you. But now you have to learn how to incarnate them, and then you will see them, and they'll get in your way. Because you'll find the abundance of beings surrounding this earth plane, trying from different galaxies to keep you people from being destroyed by the cherubim. And we're trying to wake you up soon enough to get you back, but it seems almost impossible. So many people have learned to love the cherubim as opposed to the seraphim. Okay?
Well, why the people of solidarists, why we allow ourselves to, why are we in this condition? Why can't what's in us, the inner being, be brought forth, and the greatness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put upon us? Our ancestors, these are things that our ancestors did, and we are the children, our children's children.
No. Your ancestors, let me correct you, your ancestors were also being visited by beings to try to help them, because in the realm that they were in, they had their degree of devilishment also. You follow? Lot, don't forget, Lot turned against Abraham and went down to Sodom and Gomorrah because he thought it was a better place to be. So he turned against the village of peace and went into the city of New York, to the village, in a figure of speech, and wants to live in the village with those kind of people. It's been going on for a long period of time, and beings have been trying, but see, what is long to y'all is short to us. What 6,000 years is less than a day to us. The whole information of your whole planet could be absorbed in a couple of minutes by any master. All the information of your whole planet. You're developing rapidly, much more rapidly than you're supposed to.
Recently this week, the snowstorm, was there any significance of the thunder and the lightning?
Yes. If you would read a book that I've written called the Book of Revelations 4, I explained last year to expect these things. Some of the people in the class, I told them this is the worst weather you're going to have in a long time. And what has happened is there's a clash of currents in the universe now. This is going to sound crazy again. I have to keep saying that because people think I'm nuts. I don't mind being nuts. They thought Jesus was nuts. But there's a council that meets on all of the different planets that are in your solar system and outside your solar system. All right, your planet is lined up for evaluation next. So you have a lot of intergalactical traveling taking place here now. People coming in and going into the center of your planet. That's why they're saying there's so many UFO sightings all of a sudden. This is why people are turning back to the church. People are getting so spiritual all of a sudden. Everybody's talking about the Spirit and the Holy Ghost and being born again and being saved and becoming Muslim and becoming Black Jew and becoming Hindu and becoming Swami, and there's a yogi here and there's a yogi that. That is the work of the masses preparing you. When that happens, the currents go out. That's why all the prophecies say the sky shall be blackened and there shall be earthquakes and storms and the moon shall turn like red, turn to a ball of fire. This is the time. There's a galactical alignment. Y'all had a photo alignment a couple of weeks ago. They didn't even tell you all that. They put it on the news after it happened. They never told you why. Because I told y'all that because there is no North Pole, every time the elders enter, the mothership comes over the North Pole, that magnetic thing, because those solar light reflections at the North Pole, those are ships coming in. And they throw your planet off. Your planet is off its axis already. It's 23.5 degrees off now, because of ships entering into the center. In the center of this planet, there's a sun. The diameter of it is 6,000 miles. And each layer of your sun, your planet, is not a solid. You couldn't be a solid and be 6 trillion tons of weight with all the metals. This planet is not a solid, it's hollow. And in the center of it, there's another whole empire which you all refer to as Atlantis or Lemuria. All right, there's two of them. They went for so long, so I'm not going to start explaining Atlantis. But the weather is out now because there's beings coming through, and they're interfering with your layers. Your ozone is thrown off now. So you're going to have abstract weather. You think it's funny now? I'll give it 2 more weeks and see what happens. It's going to be so cold in March, it's going to be ridiculous. Your time belt is off. Your planet is working on a time belt. Time belt means you have ticks in your time. You follow? You have been calculating the ticks, but is ignoring the rest. You know anything about music? You know there's a beat and a rest, a beat and a rest. But when you're looking at your clock and the devil shrewdly put batteries in to take out the ticks, because you were going tick, 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 tick. But in between those ticks, there was a rest that you were not counting. Instead of being 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 6 seconds, you really had 26 or 27 minutes. I'm 48 minutes going at the same time. The beings that I'm speaking about, intergalactical beings, move on the rest of your time. There's a counter world, a fourth dimension, that's linked to this 3-dimensional world you're in. And when they're making communications to set up the council, which you refer to in the Bible as the 24 elders around the throne with the 4 beasts, or in Ezekiel, that same council that has been coming here since the beginning of your planet, right? When they're coming from other galaxies here to have a meeting on whether or not to let this planet destroy itself. This is what it is. You people have got to the point where you are about to destroy yourself, and they're trying to save you, it says in Revelation. What about those who have the seal of the Father on them? The Master says, hold back the winds in Revelation. Don't destroy it until we get there. But you won't come. It's right in the book. Don't destroy it until we get those who have the seal, but you won't come. Some of you are spiritual beings, I gotta tell you. When the sons of the Almighty came down centuries ago, and went to the daughters of man, they gave birth to what you call Nephilians or Jebarians, supernatural beings who have now mingled amongst men so well that they forgot who they are, except for that dormant feeling that keeps making them say, why does everything happen to me? Why am I different? Why am I not enjoying this party the way they are? Why do I not want to get drunk and smoke reefer like they do? Why am I sitting in church saying I don't believe that white man on that cross is Jesus? Why is something happening different? And other people in the same room are sitting there and accept anything. And you look at them like, how can you accept anything anybody says? Well, if you're one of those people, they've always been saying, why me? Why when they run, I'm the one that falls? Every ski, I get the broken ski. Why am I the being in all this energy? Because the devil has a concentrated effort on your destruction. Because he knows that you are a Jebarian, that you're from you're intergalactical being. You're part human and part extraterrestrial. He knows that. And you cannot, like Jesus said, I'm caught up in two worlds. He said he was having a problem. He said, my spirit is willing, it's just my flesh that is so weak. You follow? All of these collaboration of time, the alignment of the universe, the beings coming through is why your weather's out. And it sounds like a science fiction movie, because that's what he wants it to sound like, but it's true. I'll tell you some things that will wake you up. The headaches.